Blast from the Past, episode 1, the only time I ever used that intro that I spent 2 hours on, because I had just got my Mac and I was trying to figure out how the fuck to use GarageBand. And then I learned how important a audio interface is, because I literally just took a microphone and put it on my amp.
Really?
Yeah, that's
you
how.
Can't tell.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, what? Yeah, I did, but like,
at the end of the day, what works.
Yeah. We were talking about with the band, like, what if we just tried to do like because we're just so broke, we're just like, we can't like afford like studio time or anything like that, and we don't have anything to record ourselves. It's like, what if we just do like 1970s style, and we all just sit in a room and we'll find a way to just make Tyler quiet on the drums, and we'll just put like a microphone in the middle of the room, dude. Like, we almost thought about it.
It's a decent way to get demos.
Yeah. Well, that's our next step. You know, we've been jamming for like, I didn't even really consider it. We've been jamming for like 2 years now. And like, we finally got like some like cohesion together, and like, hey, we're finally making stuff that sounds pretty okay, and that we finally found like our niche.
You guys sound good.
Thank you.
Every time I walk, I practice Saturday. So
Right.
I walk past your guys' practice space, and what I've been hearing, I like. It sounds really good. It sounds tighter and tighter.
Yeah, we got really into like doom metal, very just like or like stoner rock,
metal,
stoner metal. I feel like, I don't know about you, but I always make the joke, one of my favorite things every year is to look at my Spotify rewind, because with the rewind I can tell what I was doing that year and who I was hanging out with.
It's fascinating thinking about like how much music influences people, and how like people influence your music taste.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Oh my god, I was so stoked to have you on here. I didn't even fucking introduce you again. Ladies and gentlemen, coming back after 16 episodes of The Basement Dweller, we have guest numero uno. We have Tyler back on. Welcome back, Tyler.
Hello.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome to... I was actually just telling Allie before you came out, I was like laughing, because like now it's like I'm so laxed. Not only was I not prepared for you to come over this time, I was eating breakfast right in front of you before we started. The first time you came over, I was visibly shaky.
Yeah, you were pretty nervous.
I was very nervous.
But you seemed really prepared then.
Oh yeah, I had to, or else, you know. A lot of it is now officially, I mean, I still have my notes and stuff like that for some talking points, but a lot of it, especially with me and Robert now, has just come from pure improv.
Yeah. When you were asking, like, do I prep anything?
Yeah.
Now you understand.
Now
right?
I get it. I mean, because when especially now that I have a co-host.
It kind of ruins it if you do, but
Yeah.
it's good to have it like to fall back on, especially if you get nervous.
Right.
There's definitely episodes I wish I was more prepared.
Mm-hmm. And there was a couple of those, especially with, you know, you were mentioning that you're caught up to Joe. The episode with Joe, there were definitely times that, because I still edit out like a lot of like dead air,
Right.
you know, just to save space. But you could absolutely, like, if I didn't edit it out, you could hear like a pause and like a, and then like a page swipe, because I'm like looking at my notes because I had stuff to talk about. But he was like my real interviewee episode. So
Right. Yeah, you said you didn't know him personally.
no, I mean, I've known him for years, but not personally. But with Robert, I mean, we're such just high school nerds that like, and this is why I kind of feel bad, because you're like, I haven't listened to the ones with Robert yet, and I'm like, we got pretty Howard Sterny pretty fast.
Well, I mean, I listened to episode 2 that had Robert, right?
Yeah, that had Robert, and he's been one of my best friends since high school, and so it's just like, you know, kind of like from what I've seen on your podcast, you know, especially with Jesse, is that you guys have just such a good back and forth.
Yeah, I've known him for going on 22 or not 22.
Oh my god.
12 years.
Oh wow, okay.
I was thinking 2022.
20, we're almost there, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. This whole last year and a half has felt like such a blur, dude. Like, I don't remember a lot about last year other than getting fired. And
Last year, I just remember being at home a lot.
Mm-hmm. And it was,
I made so much art last year.
yeah, dude, isn't that crazy? I swear, like, I could have gone full G.G. Allen and just released like 7-8 demo albums. Oh shit.
And just like throwing your shit.
Yeah, and throwing my shit. I'm still.
No, I mean like literally like Gigi Allen style.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Actually, we just made that joke too. At the studio yesterday. Tyler was just like, yeah, we could just do like a demo tape and just put like a phone, like the old days, and just get like an old tape recorder. And he's like, yeah, we'll just release that. And Andy was like,
don't release it, but like at least it'll give you an idea of how you sound. Honestly, you could use that to at least like record the room, or you could have multiple mics set up or something.
That's the plan. We're actually considering doing like a live stream concert, you know, and like because we now officially have a set of 7 songs.
Yeah.
So we got a full set, you know. And so that's the goal, but
with vocals and everything.
No. So that's the thing. So they want so bad to stay a 3-piece. I am so bad at doing both. I could singing and playing. I could do both, but hard. At the same time, unless the song is in constant 4s and it's only in chords, it's hard. And you know,
well, if there's like a tempo change or like a time signature change, can't you just not sing for that portion?
Sure, but my whole thing is I'm also, every time I write lyrics, it kind of reminds me of like when I was doing comedy. Like the biggest thing for me was like, it's hard for me to sit there and write jokes. Because when I sit there and I try, I almost feel like I sound like a super corny like brother-in-law wedding speech, you know. So like I'm you know, you're your biggest critic, and I can attest to that wholeheartedly. So it's like when I write stuff, they'll tell me all day long like, oh, I like that, that's cool, and I'm like, I'll scrap it all. Kind of remind me like we were hanging out and we were watching like Metalocalypse, and there's like a scene where like Nathan the singer is just not happy with anything they're doing. Like there's like, Nathan, we've been recording demos for 4 weeks now, and it's like every time like they like he's like watching like listening to the song, and like he like puts his hand over to the mixer, like to the delete button. They're like, don't do it, don't, and then he like deletes it. I'm like, dude, like that's me, bro, like seriously. So when I think about doing both, it's hard. So I'm looking for either or. So I either want to be more on guitar or on vocals, which I don't mind, because at the end of the day, for me, I feel like that's just so much pressure for me. Not saying that they don't like pull their own weight or anything. I don't want to say that.
Since I've been binging your podcast, I remember you mentioning that finding a vocalist is difficult. And Louis on Tour, my band, had the same experience trying to find a vocalist for the past almost all of 2020. We were trying to find a vocalist, and we kept running into that issue of like, somebody comes in, they audition, and then they flake.
Yeah.
Or they audition, they're working out, and then they're not good people. Like, they're not good people, or they don't mesh well with us.
Right.
Or they aren't as skilled as we need them to be. Because we've been playing, Jesse, Nick, and I have been playing together for 10 years. And my drummer Sam has been playing drums for like 17 years. And we've all been playing our instruments for probably like
most of your lives,
10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
So we have quite a bit of experience alone and together.
Yeah.
And bringing somebody in, like that dichotomy, that dynamic of like learning all of the songs that we have already made.
Right.
And then they have to come in and write lyrics for everything. And try to mesh well with us as individuals, as a band, and then just like trying to understand the songs themselves.
You know, it's interesting is that you say that you bring that up, because that's a really good point. Is because, you know, with a guitar player, most people that you're going to accept into your band, because, you know, like you, I've been playing music most of my life, and I'm not going to find someone who's been playing for a year and a half. You know, they're usually people who have been playing as long, if not longer than myself, with a higher skill cap. And so with a guitar, I could say, here's 20 minutes. Our music's not that technical, you know, so it's like I could show you this riff that we play, you know, most of the song in 10 seconds. But the lyrics, yeah, I mean, especially if you have stuff that's already written down and you're like, here, to come up with a cadence for this. What I found out actually was really interesting. So have you ever seen the movie The Dirt on Netflix about Motley Crue?
No.
Oh, fantastic movie. It's actually become one of my favorite movies of all time. But you see in the movie, so when Vince Neil goes to try out for Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx is actually one of the lead like lyric writers. So when he tried out, he was just like, here you go, like do this, this, and this. And throughout the whole movie, you kind of realize that. And I kind of made the joke. I was like, fucking, can you imagine your job being that easy? Like, you just have a good voice, and then someone else is like, here, sing this. But
Yeah.
I can't do it, you know? So, like, if we do find... that's why I kind of want to do... people know. It's okay. She likes to come in and speak her opinion on all the podcasts. But, you know, that's why I don't mind doing lyrics, because I know I can sing this kind of music. So it's like, if we could find a guitar player, then I can teach them this set in 4 days. Maybe, you know? So that's the goal.
Yeah.
But you know... I felt bad for a long time because I really kind of suppressed my musical talent for a very, very long time. I was in a band in high school, and we just had a falling out, and that was really the last time. I mean, I remember there was a solid, like, almost 2 years I didn't play anything.
I mean, sometimes it's like that.
Yeah, you know, and...
After I left Elena Avenue, when I moved to Idaho, there was probably, like... 4 months where I was like, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah.
Because that was my Saturday every weekend. And then I started creating Stumpy, my solo project, and it just doing everything alone it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, you know,
it's gratifying, like coming up with everything on your own, because it makes you feel a lot more well-rounded and professional as a musician.
Right.
Like from the writing to producing to composing, all of the elements of it, like, makes you feel really good.
Kind of reminds me of like being like a painter. You know, like a painter doesn't have one guy do the stenciling and then one guy doing like the layering, and then, you know, and then, okay, now it's my turn to do the final, you know what I mean? Where it's like, as a painter, you're doing everything. And
well, they don't, but a paint company does.
yeah, right. I actually feel, and again, I love the dudes I play with. You know, Tyler and Andy are awesome homies, and we sync really well. But
I liked jamming with you guys.
Yeah,
you guys were fun.
And I was gonna say this a little while back. You were talking about it, and we were jamming for 2 years. I said I actually told them recently. I was like, my biggest regret was that we were not set up like now that we were back then, like when you were hanging out, because
I would have joined.
Exactly. And in all honesty,
ready.
and I appreciated you for saying, look, I'm trying to like not just be like a jam band, you know, and that's all we were, you know, and so I was like, oh shit, okay, well, and then we were just like, man, if we could just find a guitar player, and I was like, we had one, we had one, but we didn't have shit, you know, so, but if I could do it all alone, I definitely would. I would still hang out with them, but if I'm being honest, I know all the parts, you know, I know what everyone's doing. If I had the interface and the whole, like, you know, stuff, and I could just do it on my Mac all day, I would. That's literally all I would be doing, is doing everyone's parts, and then I would show them, hey, look what I did.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Nick does a similar thing when he's writing songs for Louis on tour. He composes it all. I think there's, I don't remember what it's called, like Guitar Pro or something.
Sure.
Some sort of like composing software. He makes the entire song, and then he has these parts and ideas, and then he shows us.
Oh, okay.
So most of the songs, like, same thing with the vocalist. Like when I came in as bassist of Louis on tour, they had a lot of songs already written.
Really? Mm-hmm. Hey, real quick, before we go into this, I think the reason why she's freaking out is because I closed that door. Let me go open that door for her. Okay. So, had to let her out. Did we ever talk about, or did I ever ask you, like, where you came up with that name? Or where they came up with that name?
Louis on tour?
Yeah.
So Louis is Jesse's son.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how they came up with the entire name, but I know it's based around that.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, we were that was another one of my favorite pastimes. I love writing band names. Even when I was a kid, like, I would just sit in my room and think of, like, so we originally were Time Machine, which Tyler loved, but we have a song called Time Machine, and I would make a joke. I was like, we're gonna be like Black Sabbath, how they have like Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on their you know, on the Black Sabbath album, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, and so we were thinking, like, we literally sat there and like brainstormed, like, what like name sounds cool and like 1980s nerd apocalypse, and so we all came up with the name Doomsday. So that's our new name, and like, so it's like I love that name, and but dude, again, it wouldn't surprise me if 6 months from now I'm like, what if we call ourselves this? You know, like,
have you checked to see if it's taken?
So I looked at a lot of places. I looked up copyrights and stuff like that, and I don't see anything, at least for a band. and this was like the thing I was. This is actually the thing I was thinking about with Basement Dwellers is because before me, almost I think actually literally a year prior there was a. So on YouTube you'll see that I'm the Basement Dweller. There's someone on YouTube called the Basement Dweller Podcast, and I didn't know that until, like you said, I didn't do my research until I came up with the name.
Yeah.
But I will say that A, they haven't done anything in over a year. B, they only had 3 subscribers, and C, their views were like 10 plus or like 10 or less. So I was like, I'm just gonna sneak my way in here because, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I had a similar thing with Your Thoughts podcast. I did look it up prior, and I did see things like Your Thoughts, and sometimes we do call that just to be short, but the full name is Your Thoughts podcast.
yeah,
And
you got to be kind of technical sometimes with that.
for the most part, I haven't seen that many people use it, but like it's hard to search because there are Your Thoughts. Like there's like anybody that uses that term comes up as well.
Yeah.
And I have seen recently other people starting podcasts called Your Thoughts Podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, I thought I did it right, like the whole trademarking thing and stuff like that. But that's like my biggest fear is that I fucked up and like I didn't do something the right way, and then I'm always afraid that like 5 years from now, like if I'm at, let's even say like 1,500 subscribers.
I think they look at when you started in comparison to when the other people started.
Mm-hmm. I'm always just worried about that. Just like someone's gonna be like, nope, it technically wasn't always fully trademarked, so it's mine now. Like that's like my biggest fear. Like, and
Well, I don't think they can take your product.
right. What is
I
it
think
called?
they can-
Intellectual property theft or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the whole consensus of like the social network.
You have documentation of when you started your show.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, got all that. I
mean, it's timestamped on YouTube or like wherever you're posting it.
right.
You can prove it.
I need to get better at so I only do YouTube and Spotify, and I always forget that there's Google and Apple Podcasts. And I go through like RSS feed, like I pay like a subscription to that, and then like it'll do it for me.
But it doesn't put it on the other ones?
No, it does. So like it does. It's just with Apple especially, like you have to like go through like this whole verification process. And I think at one time I tried doing it and like I got stuck, and then me just being the 80-year-old man that I am at heart, I'm just like, like I'll just deal with it.
Apple's actually been a lot easier for me than Spotify.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's because of the hosting sites that I've used. I started with Podmeo, and now I use Podbean.
I never think about those sites and that people
There's
actually
so
use.
many.
Yeah, that people actually use them too. Like, because I only think of like the big ones,
Yeah.
And then, it's so funny. Like my mom was like, "So, can you get like money from this?" And I'm like, "Maybe. I don't know. You could, but not right now." And I was trying to look up. So one thing that my buddy Christian actually mentioned that, and I was gonna see, kind of ask you, some food for thought. When you upload to YouTube, do you do like the tags and stuff like that?
Yes.
So I've never done that because I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? But Christian was like, he's like, all your episodes are just called Basement Dweller episode 13, 14, 15. It's like there's really nothing to, unless I type in the Basement Dweller. But he's like, I watched this video on how like for example, like when I watch like these things on Magic the Gathering, they will tag the videos like Warhammer 40K, Hearthstone. You know what I mean? Like stuff that's
Right.
in that realm.
Yeah.
Because it'll still show up.
So when you're searching for things, it helps the algorithm find your video specifically.
Okay.
It's SEO, search engine optimization,
Okay.
but the tags are specific to YouTube. But you can do that to make it searchable. Like, say you do a Google search or like whatever web browser you use,
Yeah.
it'll help your video be a higher result.
Where do you even put them in? I don't even know where to put in the tags. Like, do you put them in like the description?
Yeah, there's a section for it.
Oh, really?
You can also put it like you can tag in the description, the episode description as well, and that'll actually show up, help your video show up as well.
So my goal eventually is to hire someone to help me with all of this, and like literally, I'm just waiting for them to be like, dude, you have not been utilizing anything. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be like, you're on episode 48 and you haven't done this yet. And
I had somebody helping me, but I don't think they were doing it legitimately. It was really weird. Like, it seemed like they were inflating the numbers somehow, and I have no idea how they were doing it.
That is weird. I had to
I
a
was like,
lot.
I was like, I don't want to talk to you because you're not telling me how you're doing this, and I don't want my shit to be pulled.
Right. And then other than Facebook, do you run on all social media accounts for your podcast?
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty lazy about it just
Yeah.
because I've got so much going on.
Yeah, same.
Like, ideally, if I were to grow, my next step would be to hire somebody who does content marketing.
Yeah.
Because as much content as I make, I'm not great at marketing it.
Me neither. You know, I'm so used to like this like pirate radio-esque like way that I do things where I'm just like
It was easier when I had only like one or two things, but now I've got 3 music projects, I've got a podcast, I've got my brand, which is like multiple different things going on, and all of it is under that, and it's just like I can do this and this and this and this, but I can't do it all at the same time.
Right. Yeah, and so I would love the help. Especially because now Allie and I have a podcast, and I have 2 podcasts. That one's probably going to do like a every other week kind of thing for now.
What was that about? Because the pillow talk sounds sexual.
Yeah, so I called it Pillow Talk just because we're like in a relationship, and you know, what it really was it was just like, for some reason, like right as we're about to go to bed, Allie and I just have like the dumbest like, would you rather's, or like, what would you do if, you know? And so it was kind of like the for lack of a better term, dick joke that is the basement dweller. It was kind of more like how her and I communicate and like the things that we're into, but also like on like the serious side of just more essentially what I wanted this podcast to be originally, until I really took like my brand for what I really wanted to do, and I kind of do it with Allie now. So like I think on that one we'll definitely have more like topics of the week and stuff like that, where you know, we can kind of pick each other's brains. But yeah, my mom, she was like, "What is that about?" And I told her, she's like, "Oh, kind of sounds like an after dark kind of thing." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, no, we're not gonna bang on the podcast or anything like that." But I mean, you know, like sexual relationships or advice. I mean, it's not off the table. It's that kind of stuff.
It's just the name is subjective.
Yeah. So
Suggestive.
suggestives. Yeah. Exactly. I'm such a sucker for like double entendre names. You know what I mean? Which
I
is
think
why.
it'll get people to watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're curious, so they're gonna go to it.
Right. And well, that's why the original name for this podcast I wanted to be called Cuddle Buddies. Well, because
That's cute.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, and you know, I'm a huge advocate for men's feelings. And I think this is what we talked about actually on our episode, where, long story short, I mean, we came from the parents of our generation. I mean, I have 2 dads that have never shown real emotion, at least to me, you know?
I've been talking about this topic a lot with people. I don't like, and my parents' justification for it is they think that growing up and up until like maybe even the early 90s,
Yeah.
when we were growing up, mental health was not really discussed.
It wasn't.
all. Like, it was not understood. It wasn't discussed. And it's fascinating that our generation is so heavily focused on making it like
Mainstream?
so expressed.
Yeah, and that's a, you know, a really good point, and I agree. And so when and it was funny because I would do like tests with some of my own friends or like some of my own family, and like when they're like, "Oh, what," you know, I told them like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a podcast." And like, "Oh, what's it called?" I want to be like, "Oh, it's called Cuddle Buddies," and they were just like, "That's kind of," yeah. I was like, "That's kind of gay," you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I was like, "Well, it's just because like," and this is something I talked about with Robert and our friend Bodie on an episode where it's just like, it's the meme, it's the boys, you know what I mean? It's you're so comfortable with your friends, and you know, it kind of reminds me of like back in the day how many times you heard like the term no homo. You know what I mean? Like, where it's just like, I hug my friends, I tell them I love them, you know, I'm so expressive with my emotions towards my buddies. That's what it is, you know. It's like it's just 2 dudes on a podcast, and you know, talk about how much we love each other, you know. And I think
It's intimate, but conversation is intimate, and that I think that's important.
I'll never make someone talk about what they don't want to talk about on the podcast. Absolutely not. But I've always at the end of the day, no matter what like me and Robert say, we are here for emotional support to anyone who wants to listen. And I can't stress this enough. The jokes that we say can be a little dicey, but it's
Right, but comedy in general is like that, and I feel like that's forgotten for some reason.
Yeah,
for the sake of people's feelings,
inclusivity is.
But like, you can't navigate the world trying to not offend people.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day,
I don't think that's possible.
It's not. At the end of the day, someone's not going to be happy. You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And that was a life lesson that, I mean, to this day I need to learn, is I have this horrible problem with double booking in my life. I told my mom I was going to go over, but I told Allie we were going to go to dinner. Well, shit, so now I have to break it to one of them, and then I have this issue where instead of breaking it to one of them, I try to meld these plans, which is never going to work. And and then at the end of the day, they're both,
you just got to be honest.
They're both pissed off, and this is why two things I really admire you about. One, going back to when you were like playing music with us. Most of us would have just been like, yeah, okay, like it was cool, and then just kind of slowly just did the thing where you just stop coming
just
over.
Ghost you?
Yeah, and so the fact that you were just like, no offense to you guys, I'm trying to do something, and this isn't it, Number two, today, I totally forgot to tell you that on Friday we had to do it because of XYZ, and you just flat out were just like, well, this is what I was expecting. I appreciated that you said, you didn't just say it's okay when it wasn't okay.
Well, I mean, it was okay last week, but
right, exactly. And this is what I told Robert.
I'll
I was
give it
like,
past the first time. Like, I understand things happen.
Of course. And this is what I told Robert. I was just like, of course I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Because I told him I would. And I just wish a lot of people would have that mindset. If something upsets you, you can tell someone, but you can't be mad when they don't agree. And
that's all part of mental health. Like. Yeah. Me being passive probably would have been a lot more present like a couple of years ago, but it's something that I've worked on. Right. Like I need to express myself, and it all ties back to mental health. Right.
And and this is something that like me and Allie always talk about, where kind of like like what we do like right before we go to bed. She said one day, she goes, I realized it's like we've been dating for like a year and like 2-3 months now, and she's like, what I realized is like we haven't really had an argument before, like, which is odd. And I mean, I could tell you any relationship I've had prior to this one is that
like disagreements.
Well, so here's the thing: is that we can.
It depends on the intensity of what.
Right, exactly. So that's the thing, is that we've never had a fight. Like an argument of just like we've never let it blow out of proportion. Where like, for example, if I've been in relationships where. If they say, hey, I thought you said we would do this, and I say, well, no, we're going to do this. But instead of just saying, okay, well, this is what you told me, and this is what I thought, you know what I mean? Like, instead of rationalizing it and being like, so we can discuss how we're going to move forward, it would always go to 15, 20 minutes later, whatever, fucking whatever. It's stupid.
You're
you know what
lying
I mean?
and like devolving it to like character assassination.
And it's like we never had that. Even with her, it's like her and I love to butt heads on just like topics of debate all the time. And it's just like, but at the end of the day, we're just like, all right, handshake. You know what I mean? Like we've just never, and I think communication is key. And so I really, and this is what I was getting to, is I appreciate your level of communication. Because we're not super close friends, we like each other and, and stuff like that. But
I love what you do.
Oh, thank you. And I love what you do. You know what I mean? And I think that we're kind of two different sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so when there's that mutual respect, you just don't get that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
From a stranger, I'm not going to dissect it that far. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. If you're going to fucking be passive to me, like, whatever. I deal with it all the time. I'm in customer service. So, but, if I talk to you more than a once a year basis, I expect the mutual respect. And so I just, just a little appreciation that I thought was cool. Thanks for bullying me into doing this podcast today.
I appreciate you bringing it up.
No, I would do this every day if I could.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God, I would do this every day. Like the fact that, and I know that he's got a whole team of staff behind him, but the fact that Joe Rogan releases 5 to 6 episodes a week, I wish I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I want to do with my time, dude. Like the fact that the older I get, the more I realize that like this job is so stupid. Like the fact that I'm just doing someone else's work is so stupid.
Yes.
And I wish I could do it for free.
It gets me down so much.
Yeah.
Like I've worked so much on trying to navigate my life and like not be stressed out, but that is the biggest stressor and I can't fix it.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, you can't. And it's just one of those things.
There's nothing I can do about
you
it.
have to work.
Except working on my art, which is my avenue out of it. But by doing that, I'm burning the candle at both ends. Always.
You just stress yourself out.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I stayed up all night working on a song.
I mean, I don't do that anymore because I understand so like I can put in a couple hours into Your Thoughts or into Stumpy or whatever, like whatever I'm working on. I jump back and forth between all these projects, but whatever I'm focused on at the time, I can put in a couple hours, but I can't put in 8 hours like I do with this other job that doesn't really matter as much to me personally. Like it's an economic means to survive, not a passion or a driven focus or anything like that.
If they told you tomorrow, hey, so we still want you to come in, but we got to stop paying you. So hope that's okay. Of course you wouldn't. You'd be like, all right, see you later. Whereas the things that we're doing, I'll do it for free for 90 hours a week.
I do it for free as much as I can.
Right. Same here. And this is why I'm trying so hard. And I tell people, it's like, I'm not trying to make $1 million a month, but if I can cover what I do now at my 40-hour-a-week job,
biggest expenses, food, healthcare, gas, car, and all of that stuff, if it's covered, then I'll do it.
I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna let me turn off my phone. Shit. Speaking of the devil, it was Christian. Let me tell him I'm recording. Sorry about that. Awkward silence in the lull. I'll get rid of this part.
Is it gonna show up on is he gonna show up on it?
Yeah, so it's on Bluetooth, so I'll just cut it. Recording.
I love the phone call thing.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing about this whole thing that I'm doing right now. I'm trying to figure out how to do like the Google numbers.
To get people to call in.
To get people to call in because I obviously, for obvious reasons, don't want to give out my personal phone number.
Is WhatsApp associated to your phone number?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know it is to an extent, but I don't know if they make if they generate like an alternate number or something. Right.
So I don't know if that pertains to the actual number, but like one of my favorites. So there's a podcast I listen to, and one of the hosts is Stavros. I forgot his last name, but he's a comedian. And the podcast is called Cumtown. Yeah, they're really raunchy, but he goes on Twitch and he essentially has like his own like
taken down from Twitch.
No, I mean they're definitely not monetized. The stuff they talk about, it's for the fun. But all three of them are like comedians and stuff like that. But
that's where sponsors come in, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what they do is that they have sponsors. But on Twitch, he does that where he essentially just like talks to the chat, but then he has like a number that you can call into, and there's like a queue. So then, like, you can go on, and that's what I want to do so bad. And this kind of brings me back to one of my favorite shows of all time is Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, who I love dearly. And I would love, like, my ideal situation is to literally have me and Robert or me, Robert, and someone else. And I want, like, a producer or someone to be like, hey, we have someone who wants to talk about this. And be like, hey, caller, you're on, like... but I need someone to help me with like rifling through the calls because I'm not trying to be like, hey, what's going on? There's like dicks, and then they hang up the phone.
Stuff.
Yeah, like then I'm just a public access channel. You know what I mean? But I love it. That's
a political commentator that I've listened to in the past that had people call in too. I'm not sure how they'd pull that off.
I don't know. Because I mean, people could just lie. Like if you were doing it for me and you were just
generate like an internet phone number.
Yeah, so that's what Google does. So you can do that, and if you have like a Google account, the whole universe is in my pocket right now, and so you can do. But I think you just have to pay for it, and that's the thing is that right now money's just so tight with everything, and I'm already doing everything by myself that there's just a lot of things I can't do financially.
Yeah,
which is why
I know.
which is why I'm purely audio.
Yeah,
but and this is actually something we were talking about before the podcast, and something I actually kind of wanted to. I'm kind of okay with not being on camera.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is that every podcast that I listen to, for the most part, especially the big ones, they all have cameras where they go camera 1, camera 2, stuff like that. But with most podcasts, I don't watch them talk. I just listen to them talk,
I think that's probably the same for my podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know the analytics. I don't really pay that much attention.
Well, I know there's something in your brain that says like, oh, I really like these people. So like when I see them, like that's really cool, you know?
Yeah.
So I get like there are, because like especially so like my favorite podcast is Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and Christina P, his wife. They're both comedians. Kind of like they're just toilet humor, and I love it, you know. But they'll do things where they'll play like video clips.
Yeah.
So like that's why I listen to, or I watch it, you know. But I only do it when they're like, hey, check this out, and then I look at my phone, you know. But for the most part, I can really take it or leave it on the cameras unless I'm live streaming.
My whole thing was like from the start, just being so introverted. Like I like watching people have conversations more so than, like obviously listening is part of it, but like watching somebody have a conversation, there's nuances to how they interact with other people, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like, people are so expressive.
Oh yeah,
Or,
absolutely.
Or they're not expressive, and that's also interesting.
Yeah.
Just like the human behavioral element of it's always been fascinating to me. So when I realized I already had a camera, so I was like, let's integrate this, because most of the podcasters that I was listening to had video element already.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, it's just really interesting, like the kind of weird response you get when you know you're not there. But I think, well, podcasting, especially in the last few years, has just become such a huge thing that, because I think it brings a sense of like, not purpose. I don't want to say purpose, but a sense of like,
It's connection.
it's connection, and it makes you feel like you're there.
It's a lot more real because when somebody's having a conversation, it's not like artificial.
Right.
It's just like off the top of their head usually, or like at least they have thought about some ideas and they're bringing it forward. Or
Right.
something
And it's pure conversation. It's not like at any moment now I'm going to be like, all right, now let's listen to Rise Against, you know, like, and we'll be back, you know, like
that would be cool too.
That would be sweet. Dude, I would love to do. I saw this thing, like there are like real pirate radio hosting websites where you can just be a fucking DJ. I always get afraid of just like getting in trouble for playing music that I'm not allowed to. So, but I guess that's where the whole pirate part comes in, you know.
You could probably pull it off with local artists.
Probably that. So that was another thing. So when I originally before Cuddle Buddies, the name I wanted the most was Locals Only. I love that name so much, and like that was the first concept, was that I only wanted guests who were local artists, musicians, you know, stuff like that.
I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to have local artists on, and I want to get into like a KEXP style. Like,
same. Oh my God.
Where I have them perform. I have the equipment to do that, I think, but it's just trying to pull that off is going to be so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that...
But I've been expanding into weird things like, I don't know if you saw, but I did an omelet off.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really
posted.
cool. I liked it.
It's like such low quality, but just like we have never done anything like that. So it was a test to see if we could even pull it off.
Let me say, you are pretty good at making omelets. If you always post the Snapchats of your breakfast, and I'm like,
almost every day.
That looks pretty good, not gonna lie. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. I've made omelets for almost all of my friends.
You're just the omelet guy?
I guess so.
That rocks, dude. I was gonna say, you were talking about like what was it called? K-Tap?
KEXP.
Yeah, KEXP.
It's a Seattle radio station that has a bunch of indie artists come and just.
I watched them do like All Them Witches and Idols and like King Gizzard and stuff like that. And I was gonna say,
Broken Bells.
You definitely have like that voice. Like I could definitely see you like on that show. Just like, hey,
this is live now with KEXP.
Yeah, dude, we're here with you know what I mean? Like you sound just like it. So
I would love that.
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
I love that, and I'm like, I love NPR Tiny Desk.
Yeah,
those are like, I think that is such a cool concept.
I've binged those. Like there's a ton of them too. There's like one of them is called like The Van or something, and they go into this like RV, or like just watching live sets. I'd love that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Man, I might have
to. And then interviewing those artists in between all of that, that'd be so much more interesting to me.
We may need to talk and butt heads about this, because that's a fucking sweet idea, dude. There are so many local Arizona bands that I'm like, it'd
probably be easier to pull off collaboratively.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just, my thing is space. I mean, you see where I'm at right now, you know, so I can't really.
That's another huge factor. I think like Louis on Tour has bought the equipment to record ourselves. So I think they would let me use it. I've got an interface system, so like worst comes to worst, I have to use my interface, but like we have two interfaces. We've got the mics, like we could mic a drum set, we could mic all the instruments.
What if we did at the studio.
Yeah.
We recorded, me, Tyler, and Andy recorded at the studio for our episode. Dude, that's not a bad
Did you guys
idea.
play?
No, but we had a podcast where we recorded, and we have one of the ones that's like there's the practice space, and then there's like a little spot in the back that like goes deeper.
Yeah, you guys have a big spot.
Oh yeah, you've been there. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be fucking a really good idea.
I thought like since my band has a practice space at the same studio, I figured like maybe this has all just been like down the line for me. This is like future thoughts, but like maybe having bands come in and just use our equipment so that we don't have to change anything.
Well, at least like maybe like the kit, you know?
Yeah, at least the kit.
Yeah.
That'd be the hardest part. Or like even the amps.
Dude,
Well, I don't know, people's pedal boards and stuff.
I think we might have came up with $1 million idea.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people I know that are in that studio? And it's always packed, dude. Like it's always. That would be such a sick idea, dude, to get just local Arizona bands and just back and forth. 3-song set, interview in between. That would be fucking sweet, dude.
Yeah.
All right, we might not
so cool.
we might not be able to air this one because this is some gold we're mining right now. We might have to keep this private.
It's all good. The other people would have to get to our point to even be able to pull it off.
That's true. That's a very good point. I see, but that's the thing,
This
dude.
is hard, guys.
It's fucking
hard.
you know, and
It
I-
seems like it'd be easy, but
exactly.
it's
I had my and people in your family who don't do anything like this, it's like
not. They don't even care.
well, they don't mean to do these passive aggressive like comments, but
Right.
like my grandma, she listened to one of the episodes. I think she listened to our episode, and she was just like, "So is that all you do? Like you just like talk back and forth?" And I was like, "Is that all I do?" You know what
Well,
I mean?
no, but
yeah, right. You know, it's just like
That's how I explain it to people. I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, we just have a conversation, but that's not like me. That's not what I'm doing. That's what we're doing.
Have you gotten the family? Oh, I would love to be on. Have you had that yet?
No,
Oh my
but
God.
I did do an episode with my grandma because she
That's
just
awesome.
turned 80,
Oh,
and I'd like to like encapsulate that moment for future generations. That's how I've been thinking about.
I like that. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, no, it's so funny. My mom's
Such a cute episode.
I bet, dude. Oh my god. I want my parents on until certain times.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like until the one thing is said, and I'm just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
I would like to. I think I'd like to have my dad on, but I think I'd like to do it once he's retired, so he can better talk about what he does because
Right.
his line of work is pretty complicated.
see, like Liam Neeson.
He's a sex crimes detective.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, you were. Yeah. Wow, what a interesting job.
Yeah.
That sounds like a job that's only on TV. You know what I mean? But it's real.
He watches a lot of cop shows.
Gung gung. You know, like
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet. How long has he been doing that? His whole life? Whole whole career life?
I think he's at the 20-year mark. I think he just got 20 years, like last year or something.
Damn.
2 years ago.
I can't imagine the shit that he must have experienced in his 20 years of work, dude. You know, we actually, my buddy's dad is a police officer, and I wanted him on for the longest time because he wants to retire early because of everything that's going on,
Yeah.
and he essentially doesn't want to be a cop anymore because he's like, this kind of sucks, you
A
know?
lot of people are quitting.
Yeah, and
Which is not good.
yeah, it's just it's just with everything that happened in the last 2 years. My friend's just been saying that like he's been having to like start go to therapy and stuff like that, and now he's essentially just trying his hardest to retire early. And I'm just like, I'd like to talk to someone like that to really just kind of
Yeah,
that kind of stuff
What's
is,
going on? Like you have like a more insider perspective, I guess.
and some of that's really hard though. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to get them to talk, especially when you put a microphone in their face. You know,
that's why I think it'd probably be easier to talk to my dad once he's retired.
yeah,
There's
people
less at stake.
people will think that don't do what we do, like even just friends, like casual friends who really aren't remotely involved at all, like they think I'm like talking to like 100,000 people a week. So like there are some people that I want on, but they're afraid of what to say, and I tell people like, you don't have to say what you don't want to say. I mean, I think even Joe at one point he was the first and only person that's ever been like, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? And that's fine. It's just hard to, because there's these because at the end of the day, I mean, I think when you have a non-friend.
I understand that, but like, it's also, that's why I created my contract.
Yeah.
So like for liability reasons, if people come on my show and they say something and they want it cut,
No.
it's my content.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, I can do it for you, but you signed a contract.
So I think I use the same one that you do.
I gave you the
you gave me it, and can I tell you that I don't know about you, the hardest thing I have to do with these people is for them to put their contact information down. Do you have that issue?
Not really.
I have a few that they'll put their name, and I'm like, I need a phone number and an email.
Yeah.
Or a phone number and an
anything
address.
happens, you need to be able to contact
Right.
them.
I need a phone number and an address, and they're just like, oh, like, really? Do I have to? I was like, yeah. Like, you know, like, and it's just like every person who's ever done it, it's so begrudgingly done. I'm just like, ugh, like this is
I know, but like it's a formality.
Right.
Gotta,
Yeah. You kind of, and I think a lot of people take it the wrong way where it's like, I'm not going to like gotcha journalism you know what I mean? Like I just exactly like you said. And this is like, you know, like I told my mom was like, oh, I'd love to be on. I'm like, I'm going to make you sign the contract. Cause and I'll let you take that for what you will on what we're going to talk about. You know what I mean?
The worst part is forgetting it.
Yeah. I've done that on multiple episodes where I'm like, shit. Well, with my friends.
And then having them do it after.
Yeah. With my friends, I've forgotten, but like with people who I wouldn't necessarily consider my friends, I absolutely, I'm just like, okay, you're going to sign this.
Yeah.
You know, just because
I don't know, like 5 years from now, are you going to say like, I should take that down for some reason, or like you don't like me anymore and now I can't own your likeness in this episode for some reason, like
right. So that's a whole thing.
I don't want to run into issues later. So
see, I hate
sign this now.
I hate
or you're not going to be on. It's my show.
I hate confrontation so much. And so even like that awkward confrontation of just like, oh, come on, man, do I have to sign it? Like a part of me wants to be like, no, it's fine, but I have to be like, yes.
I actually do like confrontation, but I don't like seeking it.
Yeah. Not
like,
that guy.
I'll avoid it all the way up until like it gets to it, and then I'm like, I'm good at it, but
yeah, like
I'm
I told
not gonna try to get into it.
Like I told you, that lady riding a bike, she hit my hood, and I could have just been like, "You trying to fucking throw down, bitch?" Like, but I was just like, "Okay,
I would just let that slide."
Yeah,
like,
just let it
on
go.
a bike. I could run you over,
dude. So I was gonna show you something. Speaking of years down the line, we made a joke in episode 15. I said something, and Robert was like, oh man, you got to be careful because out of context, someone's gonna screenshot that, you know. And
people can take anything out of context.
oh, for sure. But I was gonna play it for you. So one of our super fans, and I'll shout him out every single time. My buddy Kevin from high school has listened to every single episode.
Hell yeah!
I think he's like literally
what's
the
up,
first.
Kevin?
Yeah, what's up, Kevin? Like he's the first viewer of the week. I know he is, and like he gets all the inside jokes. And so he sent
That's
me.
awesome.
He sent me so episode 16. He sent me episode 16, and he put hashtag canceled, and it's this. Oh, hold on. Is it not gonna? God damn it! So unprofessional, dude. What the hell? Let's try this again.
Technical difficulties.
Let's see. Oh, I guess it's not gonna do it. So okay, well, it's me essentially saying he took a screen grab of me saying Nazis are cool. I was like, shit, like I'm fucking busted now, bro.
Dude, there was an episode of Your Thoughts where I said something like, was there not justification for what they did in the Holocaust?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For a genealogy reason.
Yeah.
And I think somebody's gonna like use that against me, but I think I had a logical point.
Oh God, yeah. I think about that all the time. Reminds me of like on the Scooby-Doo movie when he's like, "You're making it out to think that I think Coolsville sucks." It's like, wait, don't record that. Like on the news, it's like him saying, "I think Coolsville sucks."
Yeah,
like, I didn't say that.
People do that with YouTubers all the time,
dude.
They just like screen capture like a portion of a video and say that they're saying something.
Well, a lot of people, I have had some lashback feedback negatively about like some
with, like whips.
Yeah, some of the sound clips I'll do.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just like,
yeah, I've wondered that too because they are movie clips, and I don't know like how copyright works with stuff like that.
Well, and the tried and true one that, and I've actually been told twice that they like, I've had people on Twitter, people I don't even know, who, I mean, thank you for my podcast outreaching past my friends, but like they'll hit me up on like Twitter and they'll be like, did you really need to have that sound clip? And the primary champion of it is this one.
You a fucking retard or what?
People just either hate it or love it.
Because of what it's saying?
Because of what it's saying. And I can tell you at this,
I get it, but get over it.
yeah, I mean, really, I mean, it's a laugh. You know, I mean, this is in the same realm of me having this.
Oh, fuck yeah, brother. I'm hard as a rock.
I mean, it's like there's stupid clips. I mean, that I just live. They make me laugh, and I tell Robert all the time that if you find something that's funny, I'll record it and put it on because it makes me laugh. You know, like
I guess to like not get yourself in trouble, you could make your own. But like over time, after doing a certain amount of episodes, I'm sure you could clip portions and use them.
So I've had people recommend like a bleep button, but I'm like, do you want me to
You
bleep?
only have so many buttons, right?
Well, so what's cool about this thing is I can have multiple banks of sound clips. So depending on who
so you got plenty.
I've got
empty.
plenty. I've got enough.
It's just, you also have to remember that they're there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that's
The
why
timing of it.
yeah, so this is why I want I really told Allie and she doesn't want to do it just because doesn't want to like, she always says like I don't want to like mess it up, which I appreciate, whatever, but I really do love the fact of like having someone who's not really on the podcast but they're on the podcast, like an example being like Jamie from like the JRE, you know, how he's just kind of there. Yeah. So like if something does come up, it's their job to be like, and they could play it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so like I've always wanted that. I love like I told Allie, like Allie contributes so much to the podcast even when she's not on the podcast, because most times she's playing games while me and Robert are recording right behind you. And I told her, I was like, I would love to just give you like run a mic all the way over there, and if I ask you a question, or if you have something to say, I'll just push your mic button, and you know what I mean? Like
I've given my camera operator a mic a couple times. Not my current camera operator. I've had so many different camera operators. It's a high turnover position apparently. But some episodes, like when Leo was doing it, he had a mic a couple times. I've had like Brandy's cousin Harley had a mic. So like sometimes that like interjection from somebody else is funny.
Right. And
like
well, and it's funny, I always laugh because like people will have no shame in telling me that, like I've had people be like, oh dude, your podcast is awesome. Allie's my favorite part. Or like Robert's really funny, and I'm like, all right, like
I'm here too.
You know, like I always like make the joke because my mom has told me like Robert's so funny. Like I think he's the best part of the podcast.
When my parents do that stuff too. Like, are you not proud of me?
Yeah, I was like, I say funny things. Like, what are you talking about?
This is my show.
It's well, whatever. I mean,
my parents do that stuff so much. Like, they're talking up my my guitarist Nick. Like, he's so smart, and I'm like, I work hard too.
I do a good job. Please
give me a hug.
So when are you gonna realize that this whole creative outlet is just a cry for approval of you guys?
We're doing it together.
No, I mean, but like I will say, dude, I am finally getting legitimate, like, I mean, they're my friends and stuff, but to hear like fan mail is really cool. It is a really cool feeling.
That's a pretty cool aspect of your show.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have so many like inside jokes or like jokes that stick throughout a couple episodes. Like I have people who have made inside jokes that have just put it in the comments, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But like they're from other podcast episodes. Like
you don't get the inside joke.
Yeah, I don't get it. So like on episode 6 or 7, I was with Aaron and DJ from The Exiled Martyr, another Arizona local band.
That was a good one.
I loved that one. Those dudes were amazing.
They mentioned that they had started their band in 2013. I thought that was so cool because Elena Avenue started in like 2012. So we may have played with them.
Right.
Like we may have played with them multiple times.
And they have outlived, I would say, most like local Arizona death metal bands.
Elena Avenue was going on until like 2019.
Yeah.
We played with so many bands, and a lot of them did not make it past like a year. But
I don't think we ever played together, no, huh? Reflectionless and...
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Sounds really familiar.
Well, we
were playing for 7 years though.
Oh yeah, we were playing for like 2. But it was like,
I used to tout that we had played with like 500 bands.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we always did like Joe's Grotto, the Underground. We once did the Nile Theater on the main stage, Club Red, all like the local stuff. I never got to
all those places. We never did the main stage of Nile. We did like a floor show.
Yeah, we did a floor show. There was actually a mishap on the floor show, and we actually ended up closing the show. So we actually had to go on after the headliners, which was really intimidating because there was like some kind of scheduling or something. Like they had to get the fuck out of there. So they essentially were just like, okay,
they moved
reflection
you
was
down?
No, they moved us. Yeah, they moved us down. So
Or
we were.
they moved them the
They moved-
headliner down.
Yeah, so it was like 2 local bands,
I did
the
a show
2
like that.
headliners, and then us, another local band.
Right.
But by that time, most people were like gone. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I
but
did a show like that with the headliner. They were a touring band. They came
Yeah.
in from another state, and they wanted to swap with us because of our time slot. Probably for the same reason. It's honestly probably because there's more people at that time
Yeah.
rather than the headliner spot, and then they can also leave.
yeah.
We did that at 51 West.
Oh yeah, I remember that place. I don't think we ever.
That was one of my favorite places. The sound was okay, but like it was such an intimate venue.
That's how I felt with the underground. If you could get past the fact that it,
that was
if you could get past the fact,
we will never play the underground again.
what?
It's just the sound guys never give a shit.
Yeah,
Never. They never do.
So DIY, bro.
And then it's concrete, all concrete.
It's all so it's so reverberating, and then you go upstairs to take a breather, and you come down. It smells like stinky swamp doo-doo butt.
It's hot as hell. It sounds like shit. And the people that are working there do not care about you at all.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, you're done. Get out. I remember
The
I remember
security doesn't like you. The sound
No.
guy doesn't like you.
I remember
The
we
people working tickets don't like you.
we were 3 minutes
Such an
past our
unfriendly
time.
place.
We were 3 minutes past our time, and literally right as we're about to do like a breakdown to our final song, they literally switched us off, and they were like, "Sorry guys, you're done."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
I'll go to shows at the Nile, but I'm not gonna play there. Not as a musician. They do not care.
Or they will book us like, but there's like a crazier show going on top on the actual Nile Theater.
So they're louder.
Yeah, so they're louder, and like people would rather be like, I think
You can hear them stomping and
Dude.
like the band's just like
it was
the
a
drums and the
big
bass.
it was a big deal show. I literally think we were playing at the Underground the same night that like Born of Osiris was playing like the
Yeah,
Nile Theater.
probably.
So we had like 6 people, and I remember one guy was literally just like, I just came down here because I couldn't afford tickets for Born of Osiris.
Oh my God.
And I was like, cool man,
Thank you.
thanks for enjoying
Thanks.
the show. Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love those DIY shows though. Those are my favorite. Like we always make the joke about like we should just get people to just pile into like the studio and just.
I mean, I don't mind it. Like I'm a born musician, man. Like I'll
Yeah.
fucking play anything. I'll
Yeah.
play anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
I even have my guitar with me right now.
right. Yeah.
Just the sound of that place, like as somebody who wanted to like play music as a kid, I did it. I
Yeah, you
played
did
the
it. Mm-hmm.
Underground multiple times, and like lugging my gear down the stairs and like
Yep.
playing that place, and I can say I did it, but I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah, we did it. That was
Like
that's
my
how.
standards have raised.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about living in like Los Angeles. Like I could just say like as an adult I did it, but like I
Yeah.
never want to go back ever again because it's too expensive and it's apocalyptic now. And but yeah, I agree. Like it's not like I'm not saying I'm better than LA. I'm
I
just
might
saying
play
that
upstairs at the Nile, but I'm not
Yeah.
playing the Underground specifically.
the main stage theater
I
was
played the coffee shop at the Nile too, which is interesting. Like
I-
when it was still a coffee
Yeah,
shop. I think it's something else.
I don't
now.
think they. I was never. I never went in there because I feel like they were always like paying customers only. So like whenever I had to like use the bathroom or something like that, they wouldn't let me come
Oh.
in. So I wasn't like I'd never
That's
been
possible.
there. That's the one that's like on the other side. It's like on Main Street, right? Yeah. I never went in there.
The place just like it's got this really pretentious vibe,
Yeah.
and it doesn't deserve it.
That's how I feel about most coffee places, bro.
No, just the Nile itself.
Really? I could see that because I mean it's really nothing to write home about. You know what
It's
I
a
mean?
music venue.
It's a music
There's
venue.
so
It's a
many
big
different music
open. Yeah, it's a
venues.
big open venue.
I don't get the same vibe from like Joe's Grotto or Yucca Tap Room or like any of the other venues I've been to, but the Nile specifically, it's always just like, you know, that like hardcore kid mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
That place has that, and I
Yeah.
don't like that.
I don't like it either. Honestly, I wish I lived in a universe where hardcore dancing was never created because that is the. I'm sorry if you do it and
Please,
you listen.
please don't punch me in the face.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
trying
punch-
to enjoy
yeah.
this band.
Oh, we were going on a tangent about. I was talking about Aaron and DJ.
Oh, yeah,
You know, we were
yeah.
talking about the like the inside jokes I don't even get. Like I did a passerby joke that I don't know if I'm lactose intolerant because I can eat cheese and yogurt. but like as soon as I have milk or ice cream, it's game over. Like I feel like shit.
diarrhea?
Yeah, and immense. You know, like I'll call out of work.
Yeah, I stopped eating dairy for that, but I eat cheese. Like cheese.
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm
okay.
saying. Like I could have cheese, no problem. And like so
I
I
don't know
made.
if there's like a different processing or like
Who fucking knows? Yeah, who fucking knows?
Food biology.
Yeah, I'm no food biologist. That's well, that'll be one that's on here now too.
Food biologist.
Yeah, food
You're gonna have
biologist.
Somebody come on.
Cool band name. But I made the joke. I was like, yeah, but I mean, if
Cool
ice cream
band
is
name, lactose tolerant.
lactose tolerant, damn, you just built different.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
He couldn't shit for 3 days.
that's a whole other
All the
thing.
time.
I can't get over that.
I don't know how.
I don't know either.
I shit every day.
I
have to.
multiple times
Can't
in the
stop
morning.
it.
And I can't stop pooping. Like I don't know if it's a white person thing, but I told him I was like, Aaron, that can't be good. And he's like, I never went to a doctor. I was like, okay, but like. At least, but I was telling them I was like, but if there's ice cream available, like I will go feral. Like I was like, I'll turn into a ice cream werewolf, dude. Like I'll just eat a bunch of ice cream and then I'll come back to my human form. Like, oh, what did I do? And like someone in the comments kept saying like, dude, you should make a ice cream werewolf t-shirts. And like he kept saying it like ice cream werewolf. I was like, who the fuck are you? Like, okay, I would love to get merch for this show.
Yeah,
but
when you were talking about that, I was like, I should make that for you.
yeah, dude. Like honestly, because there are so many people that are like, dude, you have so many like one-offs that are just like, because a lot of people have been saying that I have the kind of show where it really is like for example, like your mom's house. They have so many inside jokes because of the videos that they post.
I wanted to make merch based on that same concept, like inside jokes from the show.
Yeah,
Like
or like even like an Omelet King like shirt. That'd be such a cool shirt because like the Omelet King, you know.
stupid.
Like they like on your mom's house they posted a video of like this dude who got stung by a wasp like in his like upper lip, so it's like he's all big lipped, you know, and he's just like but he has like a super southern accent like this, and he's like, I just want to make it very clear, watch for waspus. Like that's how he said wasps, you know. And he said but then literally 2 days after that show aired, they literally got t-shirts that said watch for waspus.
Yeah, I wish I could churn it out that quick.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's just money.
Merchandise is so expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy. But honestly, when you're in a comfortable bubble of like sponsorships and like ad revenue and stuff like that, yeah, I mean that's it. I told Ali, I said if I can at least like on paper after doing, because obviously you don't get paid hourly doing this shit, but on paper if I could make
You
at
don't
least
get paid at all.
I know, but like like if on paper if I did the math per month, if I was making like let's just call it like $19 on a 40-hour work week equivalency,
Yeah.
this would be my job.
Yeah.
So I'm not even asking for a lot. I just want that.
I've
you know?
done the math so many times just because like it's the dream.
It is, dude. Like, and it's not
even this is the dream. It's just like doing anything myself.
Right.
Is
Like-
kind of the dream.
like today.
Anything art-wise.
I get to create today. I have to create something today.
Right.
Like that's my work day, you know, and that
Not
I think
like making it for other people.
right.
Like that's always been the line for me. I could always like do commissions or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's
sure.
just-
We
I
were-
can do that, and I would like to do that,
Right.
but it's not what I want to do.
we were talking about like so can I ask you, so how many subscribers do you guys have on YouTube?
On YouTube, I don't know, like probably like 60 or something.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was more, but so
We're not that big.
oh well, that's the goal, buddy. We'll make it there together.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll build this ship together, dude. And
I share your stuff all the time.
Oh, dude,
I'm so proud of you, man.
oh,
Like,
thank you.
It's impressive how quickly you've grown.
Well, I got to the first time I was ever on a podcast was with you in that little apartment, and it was fucking thunder and lightning outside,
That was
and
such a shitty episode.
such a shitty fucking
I'm so
recording
sorry
session.
for
It's
that.
okay, but I fell in love with it.
That was the funniest episode, though.
That's where I had the idea. I was like, dude, I want to do this so bad, and
It's fun.
and it is, and you know, just talking here with you for an hour plus, like it's so therapeutic to me, and like, but like. This is what I want to do. And whenever I say like this is what I want to do for work, a lot of people will instantly say like it's like a money thing. Well, but of course, I mean, we live in 2022 almost. You need money to fucking live. This isn't
Right.
the 18th century. You know what I mean? And
It's not like we don't get that.
right. And we've already made it very clear that we'll do it for free.
Yeah.
It would just be nice to get a little cheddar cheese on the side, you know? And we were talking about like, I think I saw like, okay, like once you get to like at least like, I think it's like it's either 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 views on average. That's when you can start doing ad revenue.
On YouTube?
I think so, is what I read.
4,000
okay.
views, I think, and like 1,000 subscribers.
Something like that.
They have that information on there.
So you have that, and then I was trying to do research on like how big do I have to be to reach out to like just companies to where I could just do like ad breaks or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think you could do it really at any time, but it depends on how big you are. They'll pay attention to you. Because I mean, anyone. Because I mean, they gave me the opportunity. Like, who are you? What do you do? What's your platform?
Yeah, just talk to people.
Right, really. And but the big one
I
is
thought about hitting up one of my previous employers to try to see if they would. Because I would definitely promote them. I love them.
Right. I wanted to do it with a local gaming store because I've just been blown away with them recently. And
yeah, I was wondering if you were going to do that.
I was
That'd be a
considering
good
it.
idea.
I would really like to. I think my whole thing, I think that's the reason why I didn't pursue
feels
it.
so weird asking people, like,
That.
give me your money.
Give me money.
And I'll promote you. But, like, who the fuck are you?
Right, exactly. But number two, I don't do a lot of nerd talk, and I always. But then again, like, so Robert brought up a good
It
point.
seems like you do dip into it.
I do, but
you're really passionate about Magic, apparently.
well, yeah, and I was
didn't
actually
know.
and I keep looking because I keep wanting to bring it up, but right behind you, to get through a lot of depressive episodes, I've been getting really into Warhammer 40K. So I've been building a lot of
Is that the figure up
the
there?
dude up there, and then in that box in there, like I've just been building and painting miniatures, like to just therapeutically, and but Robert was like, yeah, but you know, if Joe Rogan has Manscaped as a advertisement, he's not talking about his hairy balls all day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It just comes up.
It just
usually only comes up once when he's talking about it.
when he's talking about it. So yeah, I got to start doing that. Another thing he said was, have you ever messed around with Patreon?
Yes. I actually do have one Patreon. I had two at one point, but I think Ryan decided he doesn't want to support it while being on. I don't know. Like,
Right. So I was
but
trying
anyway,
to think. Go ahead.
I do have one supporter who has been very helpful because, like we were talking prior, like editing costs of video editing and like camera operator and all of that. Like the video element is really expensive.
Yeah.
So they've been giving me $100 for the past like year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a month?
Yeah.
Damn.
Just one person.
That's rad. I mean, that helps. Anything
It's been
helps.
really helpful.
I've been trying to think of like brainstorming of like what I could even offer. Like for, I thought of like if you were like a Patreon subscriber, like I would let you, like I will give you like the Google number. Like if you want to be a part of the podcast, like you could come in and talk and say stuff, or like I want to do like original, like maybe
It's complicated because it's just another thing that you have to think about now.
Right. Well, some people will even do Patreon only episodes.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that a lot. Like Chris D'Elia does that. Like Patreon only.
I did do one episode where I had an additional 30 minutes with his name is on Facebook is Troy Thomas, but I think it's like Troy Heesh is his last name.
Sure.
He's the guitarist vocalist of Primitive State.
Okay.
And he also had a podcast called Deplorable Facts. We did like 30 extra minutes, and it was mostly just him and Jesse talking because I was going to get Jesse coffee because we were going to do a live stream after.
Yeah.
But we finished that episode and we did an extra 30 minutes, and I was like, I'm going to cut it here once I leave, and then this is going to be Patreon only.
Right.
I've only done that once. It's hard to try to come up with additional things because I'm already doing so much.
Right. So I thought about like silly stuff. So like my whole brand, and it's my parents' bane of their existence is my mom is just, she's a mom. And so she's always just like, you're so handsome and smart. And like, why do you do
Handsome and smart.
like, why? Yeah. It's just like, why do you say those things? Or yeah, because I told her, I was like, what about like for like top patron like people, like once a month I'll send you like a like a raunchy like a Polaroid picture, like with me with not like with my dick out, but maybe just like me like with like
suggested.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like it's like
Still
some
can't say that word.
yeah something stupid, and like she was just like, why do you want to do that?
She's like, you ruined it.
I was just like, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, if people want it, like, sure, man. Like,
I was saying you're handsome, now you're gross.
yeah, right. Well, you know, my mom she's amazing, and I take it in a certain way because
Did you call her on the episode that we did?
Maybe. I call her a lot. She's one of my go-tos because she's just the best, dude. She's so fucking funny.
Because I remember you doing something like that.
Her timing is so great, and she'll just say the funniest shit, like just even if it's a laugh at my expense. She's so good at doing it, and so I want her on, you know. But it's like
maybe it was the one with Robert.
Maybe I don't know. I call her all the time. I've called people randomly all the time, and one of the most recent ones, I've been getting into this thing where like I just to be funny, like I'll be like, all right, man, hey, thanks for the talk, but hey, I gotta tell you something really important, okay? Can you handle it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, no, I need you to tell me. Like, yeah, I can do it. They'll be like, yeah, I can do it. Okay, do me a favor, and then I hang up on them. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Like, and they just never call back. They're like, dick.
Jesse used to do that.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking funny. Like, I find it to be so hilarious. But I just, like you said, I want to do content, and if people are going to give me money a month to pursue that content, I want to give back.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I'm going to give them, you know? I can only give so many Polaroids out, you know? Like, it's just, and people are always like, oh, yeah, I'll subscribe and stuff like that. But, like, now I'm being modest because I'm just like, I don't want you to have to give me $10 a month for this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's like,
It's just like, it's weird making content, but also like wanting to get paid for it. Cause then like it turns into something else and it kind of feels skeevy. Just like, pay me.
Yeah, pay me and I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like,
But like this started as a passion project. So I don't really want you to pay me. I want you to pay me because you like it. Not
right. Not because
like,
you want to
asking
pay
for it.
me, but
Yeah.
you like the Basement Dweller and you want to see more.
It's weird.
And that's why I feel like going back to like the whole audio versus video thing, where it's just like, because I'm only strictly audio, like, I don't know why that matters, but like, honestly, something like a Patreon could help eventually do that, you know? It's just,
Yeah.
we're at 67 subscribers right now. And I'm just trying my best to pump out videos every week and
That's part of it too, like the frequency. I think that's why I'm not growing as much.
you have so much stuff to do in yours.
I
Like,
know.
like your content is just so much more like, there's so much detail to what you do. Whereas I would tell you there's maybe a total of 4 episodes where I've literally gone in and like had to cut things out and stuff like that, or raise audio levels. Most things I literally just paste together. I'm like, golden, and I send it out. You know, whereas you have to do video and audio and camera angles, and you know what I mean. So it's just like, I don't blame you.
2 different camera angles, 3 different, usually 3 different audio sources. Sometimes it's 2, but sometimes it's 4. Depends.
Right.
Really depends on how many people are on.
So that's why I could pump them out every week, is because it's an hour and a half of my time and a literal combined hour and a half of my minuscule editing, uploading to Spotify and YouTube.
My goal was 2 a month.
Yeah.
But it's been limited to 1 a month now, and honestly, I think I'm gonna take a hiatus for a little bit once I
think?
finish. However, how many? I think I've got like 4 on stock.
Okay. So you like kind of compile them and then you'll release them.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea either, though.
yeah, I've got like 4 ready to go. They just need to be sent to the editor,
Right. Yeah,
and
but
then I need to like set up the blog posts and all
Yeah.
the social media and everything.
well, this is why I want this to be a job, because if it's a job,
Because
and
it is
I'm,
a job.
it is a job. So okay, correction, a paying job.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when it's a paying job and I can pay people,
It's more worth it.
And they're more reliable. Right now, if I told someone, hey, for the love of the sport, if you want to help me record or if you want to help me produce this, I'm not going to blame them when they say, oh, I'm sorry, dude, I had something come up and we're going to be delayed a couple days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I can pay you, okay, I'm doing it because I'm getting paid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I just wish I had the money to do it. And with everything, and this is my old man tangent for the podcast, everything's so damn expensive right now. Like, we're trying to find a place to live right now, and I am shocked at how much money it is to just live right
Yeah.
now. It's
Cost of living has gone up quite a bit for some reason.
without much of a increase in wages. Which I mean,
Well, I mean, especially now, but like housing prices just this past year have inflated like crazy.
it's insane, you know. And like I used to live by the Luke Air Force Base, and when I was 20, I had a 1-bedroom apartment that I paid $615 a month for. Now, granted, that was 6-7 years ago, but now it's the same place is almost $1,300. I'm like, what
Right.
the fuck? And I'm not making much more of a difference than what I was when I was 20.
Yeah, the apartment complex that I was living in Tempe, Mesa area, it was like border. It was in Mesa, so I think it was cheaper because of that. But it was borderline Tempe, so like the light rail's right there, Tempe's right there, so it was kind of expensive. It was like $900 a month.
Yeah, but
And
now,
my girlfriend and I were living there, and we had a roommate. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and now it's probably like $1,000 to $1,200.
it's so fucking crazy. Yeah, like out of curiosity, I'll just look at stuff I know I'll never be able to afford. We went to Cobra Arcade the other week, and you know how like in downtown Phoenix they made like these huge skyscraper apartment
Yeah.
buildings. So there's this one over there, and like I was like out of curiosity, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, it was like a 2-bedroom luxury apartment. It was like
$1,500?
no, like $2,800, and I was
God.
just like, dude, I'm gonna throw up right now. I was like, if I can afford $2,800 a month, I'm gonna get a house. I don't know why. I was like, that looks like it's something I'd get in GTA. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just so hard, dude. And it's getting really stressful because
I've been looking at 2-bed, 2-baths, $1,500. in like Mesa.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could just be afraid every day of your life and pay $1,100 a month in somewhere that's not really favorable. Where the practice studio is, I was driving
Just
by and
keep living with my parents, I guess.
I guess that's the fucking point, really. I mean, at this point, like we're destined to have roommates into our 40s. It feels like,
Yeah.
and I don't want that. But we were by, we're
the only way I'm going to be able to get an apartment is if I have a roommate.
right, and where the studio is, and I was like driving by, and it was like, oh, 2 bedrooms for $900 a month. I was like,
There's a reason.
like I'm totally fine. Yeah, that is definitely Scaryville over there.
Every time you leave the practice space, you see directly across the street there's a gunshot.
Yeah.
Like straight through that glass.
Yeah.
Probably abandoned building.
Right, dude. It's just I just feel like there's never been a bigger divide between the top and the bottom, and that's why I will still work if I make money doing this because I need to, and then when I start making more here than I do there, then we'll talk,
Right.
So at the end of the day, just keep doing what you love and don't stop it. And
That was my message in the first one.
Right.
I still agree with that.
I mean-
I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, but like, understand it's hard.
right, you want to take one more break?
Sure.
Cool. That was a good one. I always feel so chicken soup when I'm with you. Like I feel,
Chicken.
yeah, like I feel very like it was
Homey.
it was a nice break from the normal debauchery that Robert and I do once a week. I love having you on because you're very.
I would like to meet him.
Yeah, it's okay. He had some stuff to do today, so it was just me today. But I mean, dude, you can come on whenever you want. You know that. You're
I
a
would
huge,
like to.
Yeah, one more time. I had Tyler on today, first podcast guest that I ever had back in episode 1. Give it a listen if you haven't yet. Tyler, what do you got for us? Anything to plug?
You can check out my podcast. It's Your Thoughts Podcast. It's kind of hard to find on Spotify, but you can find us at www.yourthoughtspodcast.com. That has all the social media links. You can even just listen to the episode on my website. I'm on all the social media platforms. Tyler Stumpy Beck, Tyler Beck. iPods are gross. You can probably find me.
What a great name.
My music project, actually, co-collaborator Leo, who is Neon Bright. Him and I have a project called Mars and Nebula. I started a band called Louis on Tour. We don't have social media, but we're coming out with music here soon. Hopefully we'll play some shows. Mars and Nebula is coming out with an EP probably in October. So I'll let you know if that comes out.
Oh, very cool.
Stumpy is my solo music project,
Which I love. I love that name.
Tyler Stumpy Beck on YouTube. There's a Facebook page for that. It's kind of all over the place, but I'm coming out with an album, and I'm thinking about doing like some open mic nights and live performing.
Such a good idea, dude. I'm gonna have to definitely jump on that with you because that is such a smart idea. I mean, I can't thank you enough, dude. I loved having you on.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, definitely, like he already said, check out the podcast. It's so great and informative. It makes you feel good. I'm on there a couple times, so if
Yeah,
you
there's
want to.
2 episodes with Jacob. Check those
Yeah,
out.
pretty funny dude. I have some pretty good stories on there.
Santaro.
Jacob Santorinioni. So yeah, make sure you look
Santorio.
that. Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, dude.
Cuddle buddies.
Cuddle buddy. Yeah, cuddle buddies.
Thanks for coming down to the basement. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave a rating and review to help other people find out about the show. Got a question? Email Jacob at tbdmanchild@gmail.com or find him on Instagram at basement_dwelling_Jacob, Twitter at TBD_Jacob, and YouTube, The Basement Dweller. We will see you real soon.